All right guys, back up here at Grafton Archery. I'm pumped, bringing another bow review today. I love this time of the year with all the new bows coming out, just because I can come up here and I can test them all out for myself. It's like being a kid in a candy store. But with that being said, this bow was no different. I was excited to shoot this bow, and I was really excited with how this bow actually shot. So without further ado, today's video, the new Hoyt RX-8. Let's go ahead and talk about the specs. So specs wise, axle to axle is going to be 30 and 9/16. Brace height 6 1/8. Bow weight, I need to figure that out. Let's see. 4.0 is what they say this bow weighs. Of course the carbons are lighter. They're saying this bow weighs 4 pounds even. On the hand scale, I got 4.6 pounds, so take that for what it's worth. Draw weight, 40 to 80, same as the other bows. Speed-wise, they're saying this bow shoots 342. Now, talking about the mods, Hoyt is now offering 1/4-inch draw length adjustments, like a lot of the other brands are, so awesome for that. I'm glad they finally jumped on board with the 1/4-inch draw adjustments. That's huge when you're right in between your draw lengths and you need that little bit of difference. So with that being said, they have 3 options in mods this year based on your draw length. 25 to 26, 26 1/4 to 28, 28 1/4 to 30. HBX exact cam, like I said, they went away from the HBX Pro Cam from last year and completely redesigned this cam. Let off is available from 75 to 85%, and that is adjustable with this little foot here. And this foot is adjustable in and out for your 75 to 85, but then you can flip them. And if you flip the top one to the bottom and the bottom one to the top, it gives you a spongier back wall if that's something that you're interested in. Actually love the back wall on these bows, so I wouldn't want to switch it. Colors, this thing's available in 14 different colors. New technology, this is what Hoyt's sent out to the dealers, that they're saying this is what we really worked on this bow. No limb shocks, no riser shocks. That's awesome. New WRX strings and cables. This is supposed to be a new string and cable that Hoyt is designing and building on their bows. They're saying there's no reason to go to an aftermarket string and cable. These things are as premium as it gets. We'll see. They've had issues in the past with their fused strings and cables stretching and twisting. People don't like that. 3 mods, like we talked about. They're saying a 30% reduction in shock and a 40% reduction in noise. All I can say is this thing is quiet and there's no vibration. So whether they got those percentages, I don't know, but I can say this bow is really quiet and it's super dead in the hand. The new spacers for this bow is a big one. They come out with aluminum spacers. I'm so happy they came out with aluminum spacers. And there's only 3. You got a gray, a black, or a silver, a black, and a red set, so you don't get them confused. And then the built-in cam foot that we talked about. That cam foot is so simple, but if you're like me and you set your bow down to glass or to range or whatever it is, you set your bow down, right? Well, normally you set your cam in the dirt and your string in the dirt, but now they have these little machined feet, one on the top and one on the bottom, so no matter which way you turn your bow, if you want to set it on the ground, you're now putting the little foot with the rubber gasket or rubber O-ring on it, you're setting that on whatever it is, so you're not tearing up your cam. It's super simple, and I can't believe it took this long for somebody to come up with that or think about it, but I like that. I really do like that design. All right, so let's go ahead and shoot this thing a few times, let you hear this thing, and see how the draw cycle is and everything else. what's that? Watch that. Right there, that's the drop off. That's all it is. Right there. Listen to how quiet this bow is. Golly, that thing's quiet. It's hard to tell back here in this room because it echoes, but this bow is so quiet. I would say there's no vibration because if you don't grip the bow, like if you just hold the bow normal and shoot the bow, you feel absolutely no vibration in the shot. If you squeeze the bow and just trying to feel the vibration, there's ever so slightly a little bit of vibration on the shot, but it dissipates so fast. Now watch how smooth this thing is. Smooth. The back wall on these bows is absolutely ridiculous. For a Hoyt, this is by far, I say this every year, but somehow Hoyt continues to make their back wall even stiffer. For the longest time, Hoyt's had a spongy back wall. I'm not going to lie about that. They've always seemed to have a spongier back wall than other brands. But this year, they nailed it. I'm telling you, this back wall, the back wall on the shorter bows is on par with, like, say, an Elite or a... Yeah, Elite's always, to me, had the best back wall. Bowtech has had a really good back wall. But Hoyt's, just in general, have struggled there. Right there. Man, that thing's so smooth. That bow balance is great. I mean, it's light, and you can tell it, but once you put your accessories on it, guys, that bow shoots so good. It's hard to explain on a video how quiet a bow is because you can just hear the shot going off, but when you hear it right here at it compared to other bows, there's a big difference. The closest bow to this right now is the oh shoot, I just did the dang review on it. The RX-8. That bow is very, very similar to this bow as far as noise and vibration. But this bow has it on vibration, hands down. Well, let's talk about what I got for speeds and what I got for scores on this bow. So, shooting this bow through the chronograph, I did get faster speeds than last year's bows, but I didn't get the 6 feet a second that Hoyt's saying, up to 6 feet a second. I didn't quite get 6 feet a second, but I got like 3 or 4 feet a second different in speeds. They're saying this bow shoots 342. I got 332. Now that's with a 350 grain arrow at 30 inches. So the way I did this, same as last year, but I only shot 27 and 30. I didn't do the 28. It's just so much adjustment and shooting, really. You shoot 3 arrows per draw length, per arrow weight. So you're talking 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 arrows just for this one bow at 2 draw lengths. Then you add 9 on top of that, you're talking, what, 27 arrows per bow? So I knocked out the middle one and just did 27, and I got 27 and a quarter on here because the last bow I tested didn't go down to 27. But this one I shot at 27. So with a 70 pounds, 27 inch draw, 350 grain arrow, I got 296. 425 grain arrow, I got 274. 513 grain arrow, I got 251. At 30 inches, I got 332, 306, and 279. So between the bows, this year's carbon and this year's aluminum were on par with what they said together. So of course I was about 10 feet a second slower than what Hoyt says, and from the reviews that I've seen, that's pretty much on par with what other guys are getting, plus or minus a few feet a second. It's not exact, it's just what I got. So before you go hating on me and hating on my chronograph like a lot of guys did last year, you know, it's what I got at the chronograph at the shop. So anyway, let's go into how I scored this bow. All right, so shootability a 5, tunability a 7, draw cycle an 8, noise and vibration a 9, speed a 7. Balance, a 7. Back wall, a 9. I think I'm going to change the balance. I really think that bow's an 8 on balance. It's so close. It's so hard to say, but I'm going to give it an 8. I'm going to stick with an 8. And that's how, like, the bad part about it, guys, is these bows are so... That's the bad part about it, guys. These bows are so close, like, and it's so much opinionated. Like, I changed my mind right there, just because. And that's why, like, when you watch these reviews, guys, take it with a grain of salt. It's all opinionated, and it's all just based on what I like or what you like or what he likes or she likes. Just remember that. So it's not written in stone, and just because this is what I put on here, you don't have to agree with it, but I just hope you get something out of it. I hope you enjoy these videos. So back wall was a 9. Weight is going to be a 7. If I can get it right. Not super light, but not super heavy either. Fit and finish, a 9. I don't know why this thing ain't right. And then price. Price is what kills this bow. Price, I gave it a 2. And I could almost give it a 0. And that's going to be a total of 71. So for shootability, right? This bow I gave a 5 because it's short brace height. It's lighter. I just think this is going to be like roughly middle of the road as far as shootability goes. Tunability, I'm giving it a 7 because Hoyt changed to 1/4 inch draw mod adjustments. They went to 3 different modules. They went to an adjustable let off that's flippable. Like they've added some things for tunability. They went to aluminum spacers, and they got 3 sets of spacers that are color coded. Like I like, and I talk about this in every video, I like a simplistic tunability type of bow. Now, if you're a guy that wants all the adjustments and you don't want to have to put it in a press, this isn't the bow for you. I won't lie about that. You know, Bowtech, Elite, those guys have a better tunability in their system. But I just like simple. I like to be able to tune it. I don't mind having a press. I think most guys that need to be tuning on their bow probably already have a press. Not all, but most. Most guys probably even shouldn't tune on their bow without coming to an archery shop and letting them look at it and showing them what to do. If you're like me and you tune on your own stuff, you know, take it for what it's worth, but I would rather have for a backcountry elk hunt or a backcountry mule deer hunt or backcountry, whatever it is. If you're in the backcountry, and I mean way back in there, and you're beating your stuff up and you might fall, you might hit a rock, you might have whatever it is, riding for 3 hours up a gravel road, rock road that beats the crap out of your bow case, things that are easy to adjust are also easy to come loose, in my opinion. So that's why I give these bows a 7. I think they're simple, they're easy to tune if you have a press. You don't have to worry about stuff coming loose. Draw cycle, I gave this bow an 8. The draw cycle on this bow is just so smooth. For a 30-inch bow. Now, the reason I don't give it higher than that is because the longer Hoyts with the same cam are just slightly more smooth. Along with draw cycle, being able to let the bow down, you can let this bow down pretty easy, but if you want even easier to let it down, go to 80% mod, which may be required if you hunt Montana like I do. You have to go below 80% anyway, or 80% or below on your let off anyway. Noise and vibration, so quiet. If you guys know how quiet the Phase 4 was, this bow's quieter than the Phase 4, in my opinion. Vibration, no vibration. Like just ever so slightly, a little bit of vibration in the shot, but it dissipates so fast. Like if you're not actually gripping your bow, you don't even feel it. Speed, I give this bow a 7. It's not slow, it's not fast. It's kind of just a little bit above middle of the road, in my opinion. Balance, I give it an 8. Like I said, for me, it balances really well in my hand. And I was in between a 7 and an 8, and I ended up going with an 8. Back wall, I give this bow a 9. The back wall is super solid. Weight, give it a 7. I guess I could go higher than that, but it's really, you're not really, for me, the carbon isn't about the weight as much as it is about the riser itself not getting as cold, being more rigid. Just several things that are more important to me about a carbon bow. They're quiet, less vibration. It's not as much about the weight to me, but the 7, it's only just a couple tenths of a pound lighter than the aluminum version. So take that for what it's worth. Fit and finish, giving it a 9. The Hoyt and Matthews both have just really dialed in their finishes on their bows. Price, this is where it gets tricky. I don't know 100% what these bows are going to sell for. I know what last year's bows sold for, so that's how I ranked price-wise on these bows. So I gave this bow a 2. My new price scale system, $600 or less is 10 points, $900 or less is 8 points, $1,200 or less is 6 points, $1,500 or less is 4 points, $1,800 or less is 2 points, and over $1,800 is 0 points. I did this because I feel like this price system, doing the scoring system this way, I feel like it helps weed out, is this bow that much better that it's worth paying the extra money for? Say versus aluminum versus carbon, does the aluminum score that much better, or that much worse than the carbon, that it's worth spending an extra 600 bucks? So that's why I did my price different this year. These bows last year sold for 1,800 bucks. So that's why I gave it a 2. It could possibly be a 0 because I don't know what they're going to sell for, but I'm assuming they're going to be 1,800 or maybe even more. That's a total of 71 points. So hopefully you got something out of that, guys. Like I said, I'm not a professional. I don't claim to be. Just a guy out here testing these bows and trying to bring these videos to you. So that was the Hoyt RX-8. That's their 30-inch carbon bow for this year. So like I always say, guys, I'm so thankful for the guys up here at Grafton Archery for letting me do this. I'm up here way after hours doing these bow reviews, and they've just always been super cool. So if you have any archery related questions that I can't answer, or do you just want to come up here and check these guys out, bring them some business, guys. They're awesome dudes. They can answer pretty much anything that you might have about archery. They have Sitka, they have some saddle stuff, targets. They have a bunch of different stuff up here. Come check them out. Give them a call at 704-855-1300. And like I always say, guys, if you have any questions, comment down below. If you like what you're seeing or don't like what you're seeing, comment down below just to be tasteful with it, guys. Just like I said, I'm not a professional. I don't claim to be, so don't chew me out over my chronograph numbers. You know, it is what it is. Please like and subscribe. It really helps my channel when you do that. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to live your life to the fullest and use your passions to bless others. We'll catch you on the next video.